Look what they've done! Look what they've done! The safety fan is not safe anymore.
Hello, ghost hunters, and welcome to my top 10 tips for experienced players. If you're new to Phasmophobia, make sure you check out my video for beginners. By now you've probably completed dozens of hunts. You're surviving more often, and you're completing your contracts quicker. If this sounds like you, these tips are for you. Tip number 1. Talk to the ghost. Ask for a sign, open the door. Whatever you do, talk to your ghost. If you need evidence, all you need to do is ask. If you ask the ghost to open a door or turn on a light, even ring a phone, the ghost will do it. If you want them to turn on the water, ask them to turn on the water. Don't leave doors open, the water running, or lights on. When you go through a location, if you open a door to check a room, when you leave, close the door. If you turn on a light, turn off the light when you're done. Opening doors, water running, or lights on are all clues to where the ghost might be. So you don't want to leave those things open or on so that you can easily identify where the ghost might be. Tip number 2, check the static cameras in large locations. The high school and the asylum already have cameras in the location, and you can flip through those cameras pretty quickly to see if you have ghost orbs or open doors and help you narrow down and identify where your ghost might be. Sometimes you won't be able to catch anything until after you've entered the location, so on your trip back to the van, flip through them real quick and see if you notice anything. If you're in the high school, you can look at the map that's inside the van. It will show you which one of your cameras is currently active. So don't dismiss those cameras that the game gives you for free. Tip number 3, don't call the ghost by its name. Using the ghost name angers the ghost. It makes you its target. You don't want to anger your ghost when you're trying to find out where it is, or get it to give you the evidence you need to narrow down what type of ghost you're dealing with. So don't use the ghost name until you absolutely have to. Remember, you want it to scare you and not hunt you, at least until you're ready. Using the ghost name makes getting that ghost event or a photo of the ghost very difficult sometimes. When you're trying to get a ghost event, if you're using the ghost name, chances are you're going to get that ghost to hunt you instead of scare you. Tip number 4, make the most of your tools. Once you've figured out where the ghost is at, you don't need a thermometer anymore. It's only useful for the objective and locating the ghost room. The thermometer can tell you that you have freezing temperatures, but you can also see freezing temperatures. Once you've found the ghost location or you've gotten your objective, toss that thermometer. If you didn't bring a UV light in with you and the ghost moves a door or knocks on the window, take a photo and check your book to see if it's listed as fingerprints. Keep in mind, this is going away in the future. If you're not exactly sure where your ghost is at, you can use salt to track its footprints to figure out exactly where your ghost is walking. That might help you place your crucifixes in better spots. By now you've already figured out some of these items that we have are kind of useless. Don't bring things in that you don't need. It's a waste of time. But just because I packed 4 candles doesn't mean I need 4 candles. Or just because I packed 4 sound sensors doesn't mean I need even 1 sound sensor. So leave those things you don't need in the van and don't waste your time with them. Tip 5, use your time wisely. Some objectives are nearly impossible to get. For example, if your ghost room is not near a bathroom and you need dirty water, you're probably not going to get dirty water. If you're still trying to get a ghost event and your ghost is very persistently hunting you, chances are you're not going to get that ghost event. If you've already used all the salt and it's not quite in the right spot, trying to convince the ghost to walk through the salt is nearly impossible. Trust me, I know. So use your time wisely. If you've already missed your opportunity for some of these things, it's best to just move on to your next hunt. Tip number 6, sometimes it's better to flip the breaker yourself. By now you likely already know that there's 2 ghosts that are faster than all of the others. This is the Revenant and the Djinn. Djinns are kind of stingy ghosts. They typically won't flip that breaker because it's the source of their power. It makes the ghost move faster. So if you walk past the breaker, just flip it off. And if it's not a Djinn, chances are it will flip it for you. So it's just really not worth it if you walk past the breaker to leave it on, unless you've already narrowed down that it is definitely not a Djinn. Tip number 7. The Ouija board makes your ghost not so friendly. If you're playing Phasmophobia, there's no way you haven't messed with the Ouija board at least a little bit. Once you turn that Ouija board on, you have a massive drop in your sanity, unless of course it's a demon. Turning on the Ouija board makes your ghost more hostile, and once you've turned it on, chances are you're facing a whole lot of hunts. Keep that in mind if you use the Ouija board. Once it's on, your ghost isn't going to be docile. Tip 8. Moving cameras are better than your stationary cameras. And I don't mean the stationary cameras like the stationary cameras in the high school and in the asylum. I'm talking about the cameras that you take from the van and you place in the location. So if your teammates head into the location, use their head cams to see if you can't find ghost orbs without having to bring in all your stationary cameras. You can cover a whole lot of area, including outside the ghost hunting location and inside the room, quickly by using a teammate's head cam. If you don't have head cams, then use a handheld camera. Just have your teammate pick up a camera, turn it on, and pan around the area that you would like to see if there's ghost orbs. If you can use a moving camera, you should. Tip number 9 is know your escape route. It's best whenever you go into any location to know exactly where you're going to go if that ghost starts hunting you, and that is every location. Even the high school and even the asylum, even though you can outrun the ghost most of the time, you won't always be able to outrun that ghost. So know where you're going to go in case you need to get out. In the smaller locations, I always pre-open closet doors. Only one side though, because I only want to close one when I need to hide quickly. In the larger locations, I typically have a room nearer the ghost that I will use to hide if I need to hide quickly. In most hunting situations, if you can break line of sight with the ghost, it will lose track of you. So keep this in mind when you are trying to find an escape route. Tip number 10. This game is early release. This may not matter in the future, but for the time being, it does. You need to hide the right way. There are a few little buggy things about the game, and we've all noticed that there are some interesting physical movements by our characters. If you've already seen some of this, then you may have already clued in that sometimes body parts clip through walls and doors. If I can see your head, the ghost can see your head. Be mindful when you're hiding that your head or your body might be clipping through a wall if you're too close to it. So make sure when you're hiding, you're actually truly hiding. I hope these tips help you in your future hunts. If you have tips of your own, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know what pro tips you've uncovered in your own experiences. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and happy hunting.